Well, hello, and welcome back to the Chamber Vibes podcast. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. Let me just give you a rundown of what's going on. So, I'm your host, Foster Garrett, Director of Marketing and Events for the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. If you don't know what a Chamber of Commerce is, let me give you a brief rundown. We are nonprofits that are membership organizations. We strive to help our areas, for us it's Bedford, Virginia, and the surrounding areas, prosper by serving and collaborating with local businesses, public organizations, nonprofits, individuals, agencies, anybody that's invested in their own success and the success of the region. They are the people that want to join with us and want to help each other really thrive and prosper so that as a whole, we can succeed. But we do a little bit of everything. We have programs, we have services, we do a lot of different events, and really anybody can join us. But every week I interview a different chamber member to find out what they do and why they do it. Recorded right here in beautiful Bedford, Virginia, broadcasting on Grove Street FM, and brought to you by Media Squatch. I also want to thank our sponsor, Mark Snowden with Lamar Outdoor Advertising, for helping us present this podcast to you guys. This is a great opportunity for our members and for you listeners to get to know some of the gems in the Bedford area, whether that be in Bedford itself, Roanoke, Lynchburg, Alta Vista, Madison Heights, Hardy, Smith Mountain Lake, you name it, we probably serve it. But if you haven't listened to the podcast, this is when I got to tell you about what the chamber has coming up. So we actually just got done with our advocacy event this week, our legislative wrap-up breakfast, which went amazingly. Thank you to everybody that came. And the next really big thing that's on our plates is our spring job fair, which isn't until April 18th. So that event is one of our largest events of the year. We have around 40 businesses that join us every time, and they are actively hiring all across our region. So if you're looking for a job, whether you've been out of the workforce for a while, or you're looking for a career change, or to really start your career, whether that means you're graduating from college or a different certification program, or even just high school, this is a great way to get in front of somebody that can really answer your questions about the job. You can get a sense of what it would be like. You get a sense of the atmosphere and what you value and what they value. It's a great way to just connect face to face, which can sound really intimidating. But honestly, as somebody that has gone through the online hiring process many a time at this point, it can be very daunting to put yourself out there virtually and never hear back from places or go through the process, and everybody is spending a lot of time and money and energy trying to find the perfect fit for each other. So job fairs allow you to really cut to the chase, really stand out amongst your employer, especially because personality and character and values, those are all very, very important. Your work ethic, and those things you can't necessarily express over an online resume or cover letter. So again, if you're looking for an opportunity, whether you're hiring or looking for a job, this is a great way to do it. We'll be at Jefferson Forest High School on Friday, April 18th from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's free to attend for job seekers. If you're a business and you want to set up a booth, you can go online to our website, bedfordareachamber.com, and register. There's also plenty of information on there. We have a lot of great offerings, such as a free work clothing closet, childcare for job seekers. There's a lot that we try to add to this event to make it really impactful for everybody and to make it accessible for everyone. So we have a lot of other things that are on our website, and we have a full calendar of events. So pop over to bedfordareachamber.com, check it all out. And I will drop our phone number at the very end of the podcast. So make sure to listen all the way through. But let's get to why we're here. Without further ado, please allow me to introduce today's guest, Tara Marciniak with Center in the Square. Welcome to the podcast.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, and thanks for letting me talk about Center in the Square.
Of course, I'm so excited to learn more. I feel like every time I learn a little bit more about Center in the Square, there's always something else that you guys are doing.
That's how I felt when I got hired 7.5 years ago. I didn't really even understand what Center was truly.
Yeah.
I knew the zingy things, but the more I found out about it, the more I've really fallen in love with this nonprofit and their mission.
Amazing. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, Tara, and then segue into how you became involved with Center in the Square and what it is.
Sure. Okay. So I'm originally from Northern Virginia, and ever since I was really little, I knew I wanted architecture. I've been the kind of like play with Legos in my room, that type of thing. So that's how I came to this slice of the earth, was to go to Virginia Tech And I was dual enrolling in English and architecture
Mhm.
for several years. And then one morning I just woke up and I was like, you know what? I can graduate now with my English degree. And I was ready. So I graduated with English, and I now have a wonderful husband, Brian, and 2 children. My son is 16. His name is Elon. Hi, Elon. And my daughter is 10. Her name is Naira. Hi, Naira.
Amazing. Those are
Yeah.
beautiful names, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
it was actually my late husband and I had the children, and he was part Cherokee, and that was how we found those names.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
thank you.
Of
Yeah.
course. Well,
So
how did you become involved with Center in the Square?
sure. Well, my whole life, I've known that I really love environments where families get to spend time
Mhm.
together with one another. If you don't mind me telling like a dinosaur story from when
Yes,
I was little.
please.
Okay. So when I was 4 years old, I was playing a game of Chutes and Ladders with my parents, and they explained to me that my mom had just been diagnosed with something that might change
Mm,
her in ways that my friends' parents might not. And they were definitely right. It was multiple sclerosis, which
mhm,
wasn't super well known at that time. And unfortunately, it took her from walking to limping to needing a cane to a wheelchair pretty quickly. And even young, I could realize that there were certain environments that were really inclusive for her and we could enjoy spending time together, and others that were not so much. But environments like museum environments
mhm,
have always hit me a different way. And my dad's family ended up moving to Rocky Mount. So when I was little, we would come with my family down to Center in the Square, and
mhm.
we'd check out the museums and all of that. So when an opportunity came around for me to apply for one of the positions at Center, I jumped on it because I remembered it from when I was itty bitty of how it really impacted my life. And I thought, well, maybe it's impacted other people's lives. And maybe I can help in some way. And it just all happened to work out.
That's amazing.
Thanks.
That it's incredible to see like the small things that happen throughout your lives that end up having such an impact on you. And my not to share too much, but my mom also has a
Oh,
diagnosis of MS,
oh,
and
really?
it's not
Yeah.
quite as severe, but it's so it's very difficult when there's not a whole lot of research and not a whole lot of solutions. And
Absolutely.
to and what you said about accessibility and finding spaces where everybody can find community and have a good experience, that I mean that's amazing. I think everybody feels that. And I also I love museums. I've always loved them. I love being able to go somewhere where everybody is interested in something different, and it's a creative space, it's a collaborative space. And it I think after COVID, especially, people were really searching for public spaces where they could go and be themselves and experience something different and just feel camaraderie with community.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very interested to hear more about Center in the Square
Sure.
and how you guys kind of make that happen.
Oh, well, sure. Do you mind me telling a little bit about why it was created? Because I think it
Absolutely.
makes it make more sense of why we do the things that
Mhm,
we do for the community now based on our original story. So I don't know if your family's been from the area and you have your own personal experiences, but in the late 60s and early 70s, downtown Roanoke did not look very prosperous. Okay, you're shaking your head. You
yeah,
understand? Yes.
I know it's
I've
I
seen the
know.
pictures. I mean, truly unbelievable to see what it looked like at that time. And, the local businesses had left the downtown area in favor
Mhm,
of shopping malls. That was kind of the zingy new thing to do at the time. So where there was vacancy downtown, other things swept in like crime and prostitution. And some of our local business leaders got together and they formed a nonprofit called the Western Virginia Foundation for the Arts and Sciences. I wish they named it something a little
I
shorter,
know that's a
but that is
mouthful.
the whole mouthful. But those 7 business leaders got together in the hopes of trying to solve the challenge of the downtown area.
Mhm,
Because even though their business wasn't necessarily located in downtown Roanoke, they realized that not having a vibrant downtown area really impacted whether employees wanted to stay in the area or move to the
mhm,
area. So they were just looking to increase the quality of life, essentially. So one of the owners of Grand Home Furnishings, George Cartledge Sr., bought what was an abandoned feed and seed warehouse in the heart of the downtown area and gifted it to the other Western Virginia Foundation for the Arts and Sciences gentleman in the hopes that we would be able to solve the problem in that building.
mhm,
Maybe that can be used as a hub of some sort. Well, the city of Roanoke simultaneously felt the same way, that the downtown environment's not attracting tourists, families are not feeling safe
mhm,
coming down, that's a problem. So they ended up having some consultants flown in, and they ended up doing something called Design 79.
Mm-hmm.
It was a telethon where the citizens could vote on ideas of what would turn downtown around. Yeah, it's pretty neat. They reach out to the community to find out what do you want to see. So the winning idea to come out of the Design 79 telethon was a hub of arts and culture. So those, Western Virginia Foundation gentlemen were like, cool, we don't have that. We own a steel mill and we have a furniture store. And they didn't have their own hub of arts and culture to put in that building, but they realized who did. Mill Mountain Playhouse previously was located, of course, on Mill Mountain, and it was a beloved theater. It unfortunately had burned down around this same time frame, which sounds negative, but it was kind of serendipitous for this other Design 79 situation. So those gentlemen thought, well, maybe let's knock on Mill Mountain Playhouse's doors and see if they would be willing to take a risk and relocate. But as you can tell at the time, that's a really tough sell to knock on Mill Mountain's doors and be like, hey, guys, with your vibrant offerings, would you like to move into the sludgy part of downtown where all the prostitutes hang out? So they realized to sweeten that deal, or to hopefully entice them to move down, we would offer free rent, maintenance, utilities, security, custodial services. Just take a risk and move your vibrant offerings if you have a nonprofit. So we were very lucky that Mill Mountain ended up saying yes, that they would take the risk and move into this building in the middle of downtown. And I truly believe Mill Mountain was the catalyst that helped the other nonprofits feel less scared to try this concept. So we ended up opening with the Arts Council, the Art Museum, which has graduated into the Taubman, the History Museum, the Science Museum, and of course Mill Mountain, which turned its name into Mill Mountain Theater. And they opened collectively, no longer as an abandoned warehouse, but a center in the square in December of 1983. And do you want to guess how many people they saw the first weekend? Just one weekend.
Oh, gosh. I would say at least 10,000.
There were 45,000. 45,000
really?
people, right? Which is a big deal in our slice of the world. I'm originally Northern Virginia. I mean, there are a lot of people who live up there, but down here, 45,000 people coming really meant something.
Yeah.
That this concept might actually work. So
that just gave me chills.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad you like it. That's kind of how I felt too. And I've been discovering little snippets of stories over the years as I've worked there. And I feel like I get chills every time. But we now have been giving spaces to nonprofits for over 41 years because we have seen the value of letting them reinvest their money into their programs and exhibits, and we do the less zingy things. We're providing the custodial services, we're cleaning the carpets, we're keeping the lights on, but we've seen the value that really has done what our mission has wanted of increasing foot traffic downtown to attempt to, quote unquote, turn downtown around. So that's why Center was created. So it's this bigger mission. But over the years, we've seen that the way that Center needs the funds to sustain all of these other nonprofits has morphed over the years. We do not receive regular state funding by any means. So we try to think pretty entrepreneurially. That was one of the things that was exciting for me to think about. I don't really just want to knock on people's doors and ask for money or be written in their will someday. I like the idea of us generating our own revenue. So it's about 10 years ago now that one of our board members had something like 12, 13 pinball machines in his house. And I guess one of them entered his bedroom and his wife was like, hey, that's enough pinball, man.
That's enough of the pinballs.
Yeah. So he actually came to my previous boss, Jim Sears. Hi, Jim, if you're listening. And said, I've got all these pinball machines. What do you think about us opening a museum for pinball? They did a little research. Of course, we didn't have a pinball museum anywhere near here, so they decided to acquire a few more. That was our first entrepreneurial effort, was our Roanoke Pinball Museum. It opened 10 years ago. That now has 65 machines, sees about 1,500 people a month in a tiny little 2,800 square foot nugget inside of Center in the Square. So that gave us a little confidence to keep going and try to generate our own revenue where we can. We then opened the Kid Square Children's Museum on our third floor. That sees about 70, 80,000 people a year.
Wow.
And then we opened our Roanoke Starcade. It's an arcade museum, like museum loosely, I would say. We've got all these plaques that tell people the history of the machines and all that. I don't think I've seen one person read them. People just want to go in there and play the games and kind of see how technology changes through the times, all of that. But it's very fun. Everything is set to free play once you pay your admission fee. So that was our next entrepreneurial effort. And then we also do Illuminates. That's a walk-through light show at Explore Park with Roanoke County. So we try to generate our own revenue to keep sustaining the buildings for everyone else, essentially.
That's amazing. there's so much that you've just said that is just like incredible. The entrepreneurial spirit, that is like a big thing for nonprofits, especially nowadays. For chambers, most of our revenue comes from dues. So,
Of course.
and we're a C6, so you can't exactly donate to us. You invest in us, and you invest in your area, you invest in yourself. But it's a very different way of thinking, and chambers all across the world really are constantly trying to come up with ideas for non-dues revenue, because you can't just sustain, it's hard to sustain like your rent, your utilities, pay your staff well, and do all the things that you want to do with your programming. So being able to offer space to nonprofits where they don't have to worry about those things,
right?
That's a game changer. I had Denny Huff, who's with the Bedford Community Health Foundation, on the podcast last year, and we were talking about how much it means to give donations without restriction, without telling people how to spend their money. Because if you're able to just provide for a nonprofit and they can take that money and apply it where they need it to go so that they can keep doing what they do really well.
Yes,
it makes all the difference.
Oh, that's ideal. That's the ideal situation. Somebody cuts a check and it's unrestricted funds. That's fantastic. But we've seen, over the years, I think it's probably true of most nonprofits, donation trends have been declining.
Yes.
And Center Stories, you can tell it takes like a half hour to just tell the story of what we are and what, why it's important to the community. So we found a lot of value in trying to generate our own revenue. And it's still part of our mission to increase foot traffic downtown. But now we are taking some more initiative to create some things inside of our own buildings instead of solely gifting spaces to others. And we have a little more control of what we can put inside of the building too when we own the entities inside. But any of those nuggets of space that are not being used by the nonprofits, we try to find paying tenants. We have a candy store. We have a Clearstead Investments. We have Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge.
Oh, nice.
Yes. So there are multiple organizations that have helped just by way of renting the spaces that the nonprofits are not using. I most recently signed a contract last year for a new rooftop restaurant at Center in the Square.
Oh, nice.
On our 6th and 7th stories. It's beautiful views of the Appalachian Mountains. Truly, it's gorgeous up there already. And when I got the letter of interest from the restaurant, I thought, wow, this is going to be fantastic. You can go up there, get dinner, get a cocktail, experience the museums, do multiple things now downtown. So they are turning one in... Actually, this month, it's on the 11th, they actually turn one, that new rooftop restaurant. So it's still a new zingy thing that's, I think, really added something to the downtown landscape. But they're paying tenants. So that's wonderful. They're contributing to our entire mission by selling their wonderful cocktails and great, dinner menus. It's great.
I mean, it's incredible to see kind of the transformation. Was it 43 years that you guys have been around?
How long we've been in existence? Sure. So we opened 41 years ago. It was December of 1983.
Nice.
Yep.
41 years. And not only are you guys supporting other people to help make downtown amazing, but you're part of the draw. A huge part of the draw.
We'd like to think so. That gives us a lot of momentum to think about it that way, that it matters. When we select our exhibits, it matters we want to think about what is the community really looking for, and what can we add to this building to help continually increase foot traffic downtown.
And downtown looks amazing now too, by the way.
Good. I'm glad you think so. And it's not just Center. Of course, we like to think we're a pivotal part of the restoration of downtown, but Billy's Ritz was one of the restaurants that was drawing people downtown, and the farmers market has become such a draw, and the city market building. So I don't want to make it sound like it's just Center alone, but Center really was a collective of so many ideas. We know we're a component of that.
I mean, it's okay to recognize yourselves as the catalyst.
Really, doesn't it feel wrong when you're a nonprofit to be like, we're great and here's why? But
it's hard to brag on yourself.
Right. Absolutely. But truly, we have an incredible team of people, wonderful board members, and every single person that's employed at Center in the Square, I believe they're all rock stars because they all understand this mission and seem to feel like it's a part of their own legacy as a human being to be a part of Center in the Square. It's a great thing. I hope you get to meet those folks someday. They're all zingy, wonderful people.
I mean, I would love to come visit if you would give me and Woody the tour.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to give you a tour. I give a little behind the scenes tour. Some folks don't realize, and for those who haven't been to Center, we have a free atrium environment and 6 aquariums there. So you'll see things like, Dory and Nemo and turtles and Underneath, though, is our basement area. To the public, we call it the Coral Lab, but behind the scenes, we're like, oh, that's our creepy basement. But at any rate, that is where we frag pieces of the coral and grow them
Oh.
under. Right. So as you're walking through the
Wait,
atrium, like
what?
under your feet, we're growing coral down there. And that's where some of the critters go when they maybe have like bitten their friend in the aquarium. They go down there. We try to, time out. So I would love to show you the behind the scenes tour also, because most people don't even realize that that's going on down there.
You guys are doing a lot.
Oh,
a lot of different things.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of really talented, wonderful people. We're very fortunate.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I expect that you guys do events at Center in the Square as well. Do you want to tell me about some of those?
Thanks for asking. Absolutely. Yeah. So each individual museum, if you want to see what they are specifically doing, I would specifically look up, the Science Museum and see what events are coming up, because they're doing things with their planetarium, the Kids Square Children's Museum has summer camps coming up, all that stuff. But Center holistically, we have an event coming up May 2nd. It's in conjunction with the Strawberry Festival. It's at the same time.
Yes.
Right?
I've been getting so excited and seeing all these things about Strawberry Festival.
Good. Yeah. So now when you come down for the Strawberry Festival, you can also come over to Center. We're doing something called Miniatures on the Market. We haven't done it for 9 years.
Okay.
But one of our board members keeps mentioning it over and over again of how he remembers how wonderful this was. And honestly, I wasn't working at Center at the time, but my family came from Blacksburg up to this Miniatures on the Market event. We had heard about it and thought it sounded fantastic, and it really was. So we, as I mentioned, we own the Kids Square Children's Museum, the Roanoke Pinball Museum, and the Roanoke Starcade. The owner or the executive director of the Starcade, Amy Simmons, hi. Her family has a farm. So they have petting zoo creatures and miniature pony rides and all of that. We bring that out to the market square so kids can experience these adorable little barnyard creatures and face painting, balloon animals, all that kind of stuff. So that's the Miniatures on the Market event happening May 2nd from 3 to 7 downtown.
That's awesome. That's like all the best parts of like Centerfest and all the festivals, the balloons, the animals, the face painting.
Yes. And then the farmyard animals go back to where they are from. And then, they're kept somewhere else, which is great. But we get the zingy part of like, hey, aren't these cute and fun? And then they go back.
Yep.
It's good stuff. Yeah. So that's the Miniatures on the Market event. And then I already kind of mentioned it, but every winter we do Illuminates, the walk-through light show event at Explore Park. I don't know if you've been to that before.
I haven't, but I've heard wonderful things.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll have to give you tickets to that too. It's such a wonderful environment there. Again, it plays into my own, kind of intrinsic desires to create environments where families can spend time together and appreciate one another. Even when my mom was in a wheelchair back when I was young, she could always experience a walkthrough or drive-through light show. And that was something that meant a lot to me, that it didn't make it apparent that she couldn't walk and we could. It was more about the lights and the music and the hot chocolate and all of that. And I thought, well, that's really amazing that I get to be part of a team to create a light show. I like my jaw dropped when I heard that was going to be part of what Center and Square was doing. So that's every winter. It starts around in November, middle of November. It fluctuates a little depending on how the calendar lands. But that's a half-mile walking trail at Explore Park. We, of course, only have so much room in Center in the Square downtown. It would be great to have a light show there, but we don't have such space. But Explore Park is really gorgeous, and they've got camping now, and it's just really fantastic. So it's a half-mile walking trail with different themes, huge displays, giant ornaments people take pictures inside of.
Wow.
It's a gorgeous experience there. And that one generates, luckily, a substantial amount of revenue. I would call it substantial in my humble opinion, that we split with Roanoke County. Their money goes back into Explore Park, and our money, of course, goes into providing the buildings for all the other nonprofits. So that's been very helpful for us, but it's a beautiful experience, and I highly recommend anybody come check it out. And your ticket will be used for this, larger idea of what we do for the downtown environment.
That's a great collaborative project too, especially because I feel like our general region, one of the greatest draws is the outdoors. And Roanoke County has fantastic parks.
That's right.
And I feel like they just grow and grow every year.
Absolutely.
So that's a great way to draw attention to them and also create things through your mission and to support you.
Absolutely. And it really worked out well for both entities. The county being, run by the state, it didn't want to show favoritism to any particular organization, but Center in the Square can fundraise. We can get sponsors for all of
Mhm.
these light displays. So our part of the contract with Roanoke County was to fundraise for all of the light displays. And then the county's part is to provide the space, and we work together on the staffing and
Mhm.
volunteers and all of that. So volunteers, of course, I would love to also mention.
Yes.
Anyone is interested, mark your calendars now. Don't plan your entire winter season yet. Please leave some room for Illuminates. Of course, if we don't have to hire as many staff and we have
Mhm.
volunteers that help us, it shaves off the expenses. And then we wind up having more to split with the county, which ultimately helps the entire region. So that'd be great if people can come out to Illuminates to support that. The other entities, though, if you wanted to volunteer sooner rather than later, I would check with each individual organization to see what they have
Mhm.
coming up.
I feel like you guys, do you get a lot of volunteers like throughout the year?
It depends on the organization you're talking
Mhm.
about. Kid Square gets a good amount, to
Yeah.
help with the cleaning and being around the children and all of that. But in general, it's Illuminates, honestly, is the
Mhm.
big deal time frame that we need people.
It sounds like a really fun thing to do too, to help put out. Do people help with like refurbishing the lights and setting them out and
We're very
or
fortunate that the county handles all of that. They
nice.
have Eric Kohler. Hi, Eric, if you're listening. He's a wizard, and he can fix all of these displays
That's
and
awesome.
sets them out and lays them out. And he does a phenomenal job with Roanoke
Mhm.
County. The volunteers. So I volunteered for a few years
Mhm.
myself, and um, things like we have a s'more station roasting marshmallows.
Oh,
So you might have to
nice.
be there and help people,
Yeah.
skewer their marshmallow, that kind of thing. It's really nothing terribly grueling, and everyone's in a great mood, right? They're all
Mhm.
trying to make great memories with their families during the holidays. So I think it's a really great one to come volunteer for. And if you're by the fire pit, you're nice and warm. So I highly recommend that
Absolutely.
station. One year I was put in front of the cookie decorating station, and you don't know me well enough to know that that's a terrible idea. I
Yeah.
have a horrible sweet tooth. So I'm like eating more cookies than I am like decorating with the children. So I
Yep.
removed myself from that station for my own well-being. And I was just walking around, and I realized that that huge ornament I was telling you about, the one that
Mhm.
people take pictures inside of, there was a line of like 30, 40 people just waiting to take pictures
Oh,
inside of this
wow.
ornament. So they're tapping on the shoulder of the person behind them saying, "Hey, can you take a picture of my family for
Yeah,
me?"
yeah.
So I've got my little elf hat on, and I thought, well, okay, I can go over there and take pictures for people. That can be like
Mhm.
what I'm stationed to do. That worked out really well, and I got the line moving faster.
Yeah.
But maybe only like the third or fourth couple, the gentleman gave me his phone to take a
Mhm.
picture for him. He got down on one knee and proposed. I know. I wish he would have
Oh
like
my
nudged me or
god.
winked at me or
That's a lot of
something.
pressure.
Yes, exactly. I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta get the best angle for these people. But that first year, we had 25 engagements in that
Oh,
ornament.
what?
Isn't that amazing?
That
So
is so
yeah, so
crazy.
then that becomes this great memory making experience for them
Yeah.
on a different level. And then hopefully they come back every year to take a commemorative photo in
That's
there.
so amazing.
Right. It's pretty nifty, all the things that center and the county and, really the entirety of the downtown
Mhm.
area have come together to do for people. Because I really think that's what it's all about, is making
Mhm.
memories with our loved ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really, I feel like when people think about Center in the Square, they think about like the things that you have, like the museums and the
Mm-hmm.
nonprofits, but they don't really think, I haven't really thought about the experiences
Mm-hmm.
that you provide
Right.
and that you help create. I mean, that's just amazing.
That's what keeps me
That's life
going.
impact.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited about it. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
how I got this lucky. I truly don't deserve the position I'm in. I'm so thrilled that I'm here, though. I'm never going to question it. I'm really thrilled, but it does not feel like work. It's one of those kind of
Yeah.
environments. I firmly believe almost everyone at center feels that way too, that it doesn't
Hmm.
feel like work. It just feels like you're doing something that's important for the community.
Hmm.
And it feels pretty nifty to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good when you can feel like you're making a difference and that your life is rewarding, you know?
Sure. And
Well,
hopefully all of our donors feel that way too.
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you've talked about how Center has grown throughout the many years, but do you guys have anything that is coming up that is new or that you would like to do in the future?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So those are two very big, wonderful questions there.
Yes, and we
Yes.
won't bind you to anything you say.
Well, thank you. That's thoughtful of you. So the most recent, like in the very near future situation that's happening is the expansion of the pinball museum that I was describing to you. That, as I mentioned, it has 2,800 square feet. So it's a tiny little nugget of space. But as I've also mentioned, they see about 1,500 people a month. So they clearly have needed more space for some time. So they are going to be expanding. They're going to get another 500 square feet,
Nice.
which may not sound like a lot, but the way that executive director, who is Nick Shell, hi, nice if you're here, hi Nick, the way he wants to lay it out makes a lot of sense, and he just needs a little bit more square footage to make his vision come to life, which is more like an immersive experience of going back in time. Think more like time travel.
Oh, cool.
To the 1930s. We actually have machines from the 1930s. It's unbelievable.
Really?
Yes, they're wooden. They're incredible.
Oh, that's so cool.
But he wants it to feel like you're actually going back in time, and then he'll put the machines that are in that era in that section, go throughout time, 1950s, 1970s, and the disco balls and all
So
that.
cool.
And so he wants it to really feel like you're walking through the ages as you're experiencing technology through pinball. So I'm really excited to see that happen.
Yeah.
And then the next one is the Starcade Museum. That one has 3,500 square feet and sees more like 2,200 people a month. So that clearly also needs more space. They're going to be moving closer to the Roanoke Pinball Museum. They're in very different sections of our buildings right now, but we do sell a joint ticket between both, and a lot of people get that. So we would rather have them closer to the Roanoke Pinball Museum so people can easily flip-flop back and forth between both of those museums. And we'll be building out a pretty large party space as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes, we've come to find out that people really enjoy like unique environments to have their meetings or corporate events, or, just thank you parties to their staff during the holiday season. So we'll have an environment that's truly built for that now.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, those are very exciting, additions.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So those ones are happening, I would say, within the next year and a half. All of those will have come to fruition. It could even be sooner. There are a couple other factors, but those two will happen within a year and a half, if not sooner. And then some of our other visions are to update the atrium environment. That's where we have our 6 free aquariums people can come look at. But that has not been renovated in something like 14 years.
Oh, wow.
So it shows, we're trying to do what we can here and there. And it's tricky when you don't, you have a certain amount of money and a certain amount of donations coming in. It can be hard to then upgrade what you already have versus sustain what you already need to do for the other nonprofits. So we're going to be fundraising a little bit harder. I've already knocked on some doors this year. Sounds good. We'll see what happens. But our vision is one of our largest aquarium. It's an 8,000 gallon saltwater tank. That's where we have things like quote unquote Dorian Nemo in there and the coral and all of that. But we want to build a giant sunken ship on top of it.
Oh, that would be so cool.
It will be so amazing to see this. It'll be like a real focal point in our atrium. But I will tell you admittedly right now, if you go up to the second or third or fourth floors and you look down on that tank, it's not so attractive right now. We've got like a tarp on the top and things to clean the tank with. And I had mentioned to some of my colleagues that it would be great if we could shield that in some way with something that looks zingy, a leaf or something that,
just something
shields
hanging over
it.
there, or
And instead the idea was like, let's build a sunken ship on top of this. And we can embed TV screens in it. So it'll look like fish are actually going through the sunken ship, and it can say a few, educational things about the aquarium. So, that we're looking for funds for that right now. If you know anybody, that's great. Help us build a sunken ship. But that's just part of our renovation idea for the atrium. I won't bog you down with every single idea, but they're all equally exciting.
Well, I think it's really interesting to know your background in architecture and then see how it lends itself to creating experiences for families.
Well, thanks. Yeah. It's filtered in the most unique little ways, but I do see that it makes a difference. Even, the way you might construct a conversation, you learn this kind of, I don't know, just a different way of thinking through architecture. Yeah, it's benefited me.
Yeah.
And hopefully the community. We'll see. To be determined.
I mean, clearly it has. I'll toot your horn for you. You don't have to do it yourself. Well, Tara, is there anything else that you want to add? If people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to do so?
Sure. That's great. So my direct number is 540-342-5733. If you want the box office, if you want to buy a ticket to something, that's 540-342-5700. Other than that, you're welcome to just stop by. We love visitors. We love taking people on tours. going to lunches and telling people what the visions are coming up. We're happy to do all of those things. We also have a website, of course, centerinthesquare.org. Just click that and you'll see all of the different offerings that we have, the educational programs, the museums, the theater. I mean, all of the things will be on the website.
And it's a great thing to take your kids to. It's a great thing for you to go with your friends to go by yourself.
All of the above.
Yeah. It's a wonderful, Center and Square is a wonderful draw for our entire region. So thank you for everything that you do.
Oh gosh, yeah, thank you. Thanks for letting me have a chance to explain what it is and what it's meant to the community. I really appreciate it.
Of course. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, is there anything else you want to add before we hop off?
No, I think that was plenty. Thank you so much, though. I really appreciate it. And I'll look forward to having you come take a tour sometime.
Yes, I'll hold you to it.
Good. Yeah, please do. You know where to find me now.
I do. And I've got your direct line.
Exactly. Sounds good.
Well, thank you again so much for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, if you want to learn more about us at the Chamber, you can call us at 540-586-9401, or you can visit our website, bedfordareachamber.com, for information about our mission and the perks of becoming a member. But also on our website is a full directory of our membership, which is helpful for finding all sorts of amazing things in our region, including Center in the Square. But that's all for today. Thanks so much for listening, and keep an ear out for the next Chamber Vibes podcast.